Wallace Corporation has a business strategy based around creating more value from the materials or products they produce. A series of alliances and investments has helped to find even more avenues to explore. An example of this approach is the partnership with Aduro Biopolymers, a company that's developed a product called Novatine. It's a bioplastic used to make a plug that's used in lamb processing. They've called this a Port Jackson, as it resembles the spiral shape of a Port Jackson shark's egg case.
Aduro was a spin-out from Waikato Link, which is the commercialisation arm of University of Waikato. And they've been working on a technology that converts blood meal into a biopolymer, which can be made into a bioplastic. What we're always looking to try and do is find ways that we can create more value from an existing product stream as a raw material input stream, or from a finished product. So moving it up the value chain a little bit more. And with Novatine, which is the product that Aduro produce, we're taking blood meal from a basic commodity through to a higher value use.
To create the plastic granules that we sell as Novatine, we had to invent a cocktail of appropriate additives to do that transformation of a very dry, brittle powder into a more rubbery, malleable material that can be shaped into the form that we desire. For our material, every part of the cocktail that we use for the transformation in its own is also environmentally friendly and either biodegrades or is completely benign and just being absorbed in the environment. But Novatine itself will break into CO2 and water. Novatine is mostly different to your conventional plastics because it's not coal-derived. Something like polyethylene is manufactured by taking coal or crude oil and working that up to ethylene, which is then polymerized into a plastic. Whereas for us, the raw material is completely bio-derived. It's astounding how long it's actually took. The development of this product has started mid-2006, and serious commercialization has only been from about 2008, early 2008. So yeah, we've been going for a good 8 years on this. And probably upwards from 50 people have worked on this over that number of years in shorter and longer version projects.
What we have here is blood meal. That's the dried blood that it's transported from the meat processing plant through into the rendering operation and made into this blood meal powder here. Then from here we have that made into Novatine granules. Now that goes through an extruder and comes out as a granulated material. And from there, that extrudite or that granular material goes into an injection molding machine and we can make parts like these. So what we first looked at is, people came to us and said, well, what could you make Novatine into? And we said, well, we can make it into a whole lot of things. But then ultimately it comes down to what is the best practical and commercial option for us. So the first thing we did is to test whether we could actually make anything out of Novatine. So we made some weed mat pegs, and they were produced well. We injection molded those just fine. We tried to see if we could make some pots. So these are flower pots, totally compostable. You can put plants into these and plant them in the ground. What we decided on and settled on was this little device here, which is used in the meat processing works in the processing of lambs. Now in New Zealand, there's around about 20 million lambs processed each year, and one of these is used in each one of those. In Australia, it's around 25 to 30 million. So the total addressable market between New Zealand and Australia is 50 odd million. And that's without even going into the US or the UK. And so that's why we really settled on this particular widget, was because of that market demand. Well, this is a plug that goes into the rectal cavity of lambs as they're processed. And the reason that they're used is that they're trying to prevent fecal contamination of the meat. So this plug stays right into what they call the bung drop station. This comes out and it goes down into a rendering process. The problem then becomes a rendering issue because they have plastic articles that comes out in meals and so forth. So this is designed to do its job from the very beginning, and then it breaks down into blood meal and water and various other components. Customers for Novatine in particular is the meat processing industry at this point in time. And that's because we've developed a Novatine formulation that best fits products in that particular sector. The idea is that from there we expand out further and we can use the same Novatine formulation to make other products in other market sectors. But for now, we think that there is enough opportunity and enough product demand for other products that will stick in the red meat sector. Wallace's involvement with Aduro has been in existence since 2008. They've been involved with the advancement of the technology through student sponsorship support. And in 2012, they invested quite heavily in Aduro. And we leveraged that investment off with Meat and Livestock Australia, which is a red meat industry body out of Australia. And we were able to quickly advance the technology to the point where we were able to identify a product suite and rapidly get to the point where we're ready to commercialise the technology. And they're an ongoing investment partner and an ongoing sponsorship of research at the university. Future plans for Aduro include looking at other product suites for the existing formulation that we have. We'll probably stay within the red meat sector initially, but we think there's opportunities for other ways in which to manufacture products out of Novatine. We've purely been looking at injection moulding, but there's potential to look at foaming and perhaps some ways of maybe even filming or creating more thinner products than we have right now. This is an exciting space to be in. You know, we're on the leading edge of a lot of this development. Novatine is without commercial precedent anywhere in the world, so we're leading the development of the technology in that regard. You know, the more you look around the world to research organisations that are playing in the same space, the more opportunities that come about. So it's an exciting time for us.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.